Yeah. Hello. Alright, if you can hear strange noises in the background, that's my dishwasher. Actually, I can put some music on. Music. Music. Oh, fuck. That's louder than I thought it would be. Okay. Okay, let me explain what I've been working on. It's more scripting stuff. I'm quite happy with what's been achieved in the last few days. Friggin' build. 1 second. Please hold. So if I just create like a sine wave, and then zoom all the way in to see the waveform. Here is a script that uses this copy buffer function. It just takes the input buffer and copies it to the output buffer. So it's just going to be basically silent. It's going to have no audible effect. So when I added this function, at the time I thought I'm going to need like a bunch of different alternatives or overloads or a bunch of optional arguments maybe for all of the different ways that you would want to copy data from one buffer to another. For example, if you just want to copy like this region from here to here and then put it here, for example. So anyway, you can now do that. Anyway, right. Oh yeah. Okay. So there's multiple things that I've done. If you just write a function like copy buffer with empty arguments, then I'm actually going to print in the error message. It's basically going to walk you through. I've tried to make the error messages very robust and helpful, and also for optional things, if you leave things out, then I'll try to do like the most sane interpretation of which arguments you include and which ones, because some of the arguments are mandatory and some of them are not. Anyway, so this is saying missing argument source and then the function signatures down here. So you can see you need at least source and destination, which is what we had before. And then the ones in square brackets are optional. Because this is a bit of a ball ache, and also if you want to just specify the destination begin, for example, but have the source and end default, you can't do that. You have to. It's like the classic problem of like a bunch of languages have that problem. Anyway, I added this thing where instead of specifying all the arguments like that normally, you can instead have one big argument, which is a Lua table like this, and then you can check the error messages and it will walk you through what you're missing. So, and then you have named arguments, so you have to give it a name. So to just replicate what we had before, it would be something like this, or exactly like this. And then the other arguments are optional. So if I want to just like go destination beg equals something like block beg. Block beg is the left-hand edge of the block plus 1,000. No, that's too much. 500, 300. There we go. So hopefully you can see that. If I just want like a little bit of the buffer, then source beg, beg, source, end, block beg plus 50, for example. Remember the commas. Then also I added some stuff for specifying exactly what channels you want to copy and to where. So if you, for example, you just want to copy the left channel of the input and output buffers are always stereo, no matter what. But you can say source channels. If you just want, for example, the left channel of the input to be copied to both of the output channels, then source channels, open a table, and this is expecting a list of channel indices. So channel L, that would do, that's, you can't see any visual difference, but if you want to take just the left channel and copy it to just the right channel, for example, you can say destination channels, channel R. Or maybe you want to just like invert the channels. You can say channel R. Do this. This is actually the default, so you can just omit this entirely and that'll do exactly the same thing. Alternative syntax thing for all of the functions. So, for example, so if you ever don't want to look up the documentation for a function on that stupid GitHub wiki page that I've been showing around, you could just like, if you know the name of the function, you could just like type it, and then you can look at the error message to see what the signature is. So this would be like or alternatively a table. These aren't very good names for arguments, but that's what I ended up with. So this is like a simple example of a function. So the way that looks in code now is pretty nice, and it's really easy to just add more functions now compared to what I had before. So this is the way that I've defined. This is everything I need to do to add a new function, basically. This is all the boilerplate that I need. So I'm specifying the arguments here. I have a bunch of infrastructure in place now to make it really easy to specify arguments and have it generate error messages and stuff. Okay, I'm gonna add some new functions. Just pause the music a moment. So I have this thing, this example of how to use CDP. This one. And the problem with this script at the moment, which I've documented at the top here, is, so this is implementing effect by basically running a bunch of external processes, and like the external processes will generate WAV files, and then we read the WAV file back in and then use that to generate another WAV file. Somewhere along the way, CDP is trimming the silence off of the front of one of the resulting files. And so if I move this to here, there's some silence at the beginning of the buffer. And so this is now not in sync. And so I didn't know that CDP did that when I originally wrote this. And so I was like, okay, I'll just write a comment up there explaining what's happening. But what we can do is, one way to fix that is just to detect the amount of silence at the beginning of the input buffer and then apply that as an offset into the output buffer. So for example, if we just imagine if we just like guess what the amount of silence in frames at the beginning of the input buffer is, Then let's see. What could we do? In quick succession. I was just thinking, can we use my new copy buffer arguments to copy from the output buffer to itself, but applying an offset to the destination? I'm not sure that will work, because I didn't think about what happens if you try to copy from a buffer to itself. Something like copy buffer. Also, I don't want to do that. I want to do that before the mix, right? So if I go copy buffer, wet buffer, sorry, source, wet buffer, destination, wet buffer. Okay, it doesn't crash at least. So that's good. So this is copying from a buffer to itself. Destination beg 5,000, for example. So that's should move it over. No, it doesn't. Let me think. Ah, right. It doesn't erase what's already in the buffer, obviously. So it's just yeah. It's not going to affect the rest of the buffer to the left of the destination begin point. So whereabouts this is? Can we see it? You can kind of see where it is. Yeah, I see it. Right. So just fucking around here, trying to figure out how to do this. Another buffer. Create buffer. One thing that could help here, just to understand. Where buffer? I would look to know the channel count. I can't remember the field name. Is it channel underscore count? Attempt to index the user data. Oh yeah. You can't do that. How do you do it? I don't think I've got an interface for doing that actually. Can I get the attempt to index the user data value? Yes, because that's just a pointer that I return there, isn't it? It's not an actual... It should be an actual buffer, actually. Oh, how's this implemented? I don't know. Read from... What's it called? Read file audio. Does that not create an actual buffer table? I guess it doesn't. Push... This is wrong! Okay, this is not implemented correctly. I think. Because when I create a buffer, what's it called? Create buffer. Push buffer table, that's what I should be doing. So that's fixed that, first of all. So that's a bug. Let me make a note of that. Read file audio doesn't return a proper buffer table. This is just returning the pointer. Surprised that everything works. I think that's the only place in the examples where I use this function, so... But then, wet buffer... Oh right, and I'm just passing it raw. Okay, I understand. Okay. I got you. So, let's fix this. Let's just copy what I did with create buffer. Push buffer table. Yep, push. Hold on. Create buffer, buffer storage, blah 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 blah. Yeah, it's easy. Push buffer table, L buffer. It's just that instead of what I was doing. It's very sunny outside. I'm glad I have a office job, so I'm safe from that pesky vitamin D. Okay. So this should not work anymore because I would need to go wet buffer dot buffer and then it would work. Okay. Now then, I just wanted to know what is the wet buffer channel count. That causes a crash and debug log. Interesting. Because we can't convert it to a string. Interesting. Is it definitely script lib buffer? Oh, first of all, I don't have... So that field doesn't exist. So it's basically nil. And that's why it's crashing. So I'm not handling nil values. If Lua is nil, or if it's not nil. So also I need a way to actually get the channel count of a buffer, which I don't have at the moment. So let's add it. Channel count. Channel count. Oops. It should be 5. Push to... Is that alright? Oh, I have to cast it. Okay. Okay, that should solve both of those problems. Oh yeah, I need to update this script. Tweet. Okay, so that should solve both of those issues. The first one was a field that doesn't exist no longer crashes debug log, it just doesn't do anything. Maybe it should do something actually. Maybe it should print nil. Alright. Debug log, wet buffer, whoops, wet buffer, let's go. No, okay, good. Channel count. 1 channel, okay, that's what I thought. Right. What do I want to do? Test buffer. Create buffer. Wet buffer. Hold on, what do I need? Channel count, frame count. So wet buffer, channel count. Output. Can't remember. Buffer length. So that's creating an empty buffer, it's all zeros. Now if I go copy buffer from wet buffer to test buffer destination big, like that for example, and then copy test buffer. That doesn't. Ooh, what did I? Oh. Okay, that does what I expected. So basically, what we want to do is detect the number of silent frames at the beginning of the input buffer, and then use that as an offset, like this, to realign it, and that should produce the correct result. So it's going to be something like this. First of all, rename this to wet. Wet. Realigned buffer. Or realigned. It's gonna look something like this. Whoops, I did not mean to do that. Just so I don't have to do it again. I'm going to update all the comments and stuff once I do it. So, I'm going to add a new couple of functions, I think. One, it would be count silent frames left. And then count silent frames right. So I just want to reverse what CDP is doing, essentially, where it's trimming the silence off. And now, because I've refactored everything, adding new functions should be really, really easy. Just need to add it here. I will name it like that, actually. So this is everything I do in that file. And then in here, create the thingamabob. And put it alphabetically in the right place. Okay, this is the actual buffer. Four. Okay. So I already have the isSilent function, which, how does this work? I'm just thinking about cache efficiency. I want to do it one channel after another rather than iterating frame by frame. Do one channel, then the other channel, it'll just be faster. So I think that will already. What does this do? I can't remember. Does that return like the special iterator that iterates frame by frame? I think it does. That's the begin. Yeah, it does. What I want to do actually is channels begin. I have special functions to do it. Wait, don't I have some way of... Okay, whatever. I'll just do it the normal way instead of trying to be clever. Oh, I don't have that overlaid? Okay. gonna go modifying that library now. Oh, why is it const? Alright, I think that makes sense. Don't know how to do that yet. Uh, um, How do you do it? Do I have the... I know I have to do this using boost. Do I need to use boost these days? I think the ranges library might have something that does this now. Boost has the reverse adapter, which I've used in the past. Ah, it has it. Is that real? It's not a hallucination. Okay, cool. Oops. No, I've changed my mind. Let's call that left, right. These names, up until now, they've always matched exactly what the Lua script name is. Okay. Let's check if it's working. Debug log. Count silent frames left. Input buffer. 0. That's wrong. What about right? Also 0. Okay, this is not working. Let's see what's happening. I've clearly written this wrong. Oh, that's why Copilot did that. And I deleted it because I didn't think it was right. Yes. It did or equals, yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. My mind's gone blank. What was I doing? Oh, debug. Log. Count silent frames left. buffer. 194456. That seems right. Ah. Now what is this mess over here? Is that the wet signal? No. What have I done wrong? Sorry? This is just the dry signal, and then it does the... It moved the... Hold on. Input... Mix the dry input signal back into the... What are you doing? Hold on. Mix the dry input signal back into the wet signal. It's mixing this with this. I don't understand why it's got... Why... What? I've got so confused now. What is happening? What? The wet? Hold on, what the fuck? If I just copy the wet to the output, what does that look like? Oh. That's weird. So CDP is producing a file that has stuff. Why is it doing that, I wonder? This is the output. This is basically the content of the output file. So maybe I need to do the realignment earlier on for some reason. We write the input to a WAV file. Then we run this analysis on it. I don't know if it's just like a weird problem with CDP or what. This is all not happening right now. Oh, what did I do wrong? What? What did I do? The wet buffer is being modified by this call, which seems like a bug. Okay, let's see what's going on. No, it isn't. Oh, wait. Oh. Oh! Oh, right, obviously. Yeah, sorry. Sorry, right, sorry. I'm going insane. Right, I understand. Okay. So this is the content of the wet buffer. That is what I expect. So now I just need to realign it. Realign. So the realigned, this looks like this. Oh, it's over there. That's too far. Let's get rid of that. It's all the way over there. That is too far. It's always... It's a funny situation where I don't know if it's a bug in the Lua script that I've just written or a bug in my implementation of one of these functions. 194438. Or what should it be? Something like that. So this is wrong. I think. I also don't need this extra buffer. I can just do this. Get rid of that. Don't need that. Except I do because I need to mix it back in. So this is actually fine. It's just this function is implemented wrong, I think. Yeah, okay. I see exactly what's happening now. So this function is wrong. The one that I just wrote. So what's wrong about it? Let's just stare at it. So it's something to do with... It's not anything to do with the sample rate. Although that might be an issue. I'll have to test that later on. Yeah, make a note of that actually. check tweet alignment with other sample rates. Because we're lucky at the moment that the file being output by CDP is 44100, which matches what I have here. Hold on a second. That's definitely... It's always 194409. What the heck? What is going on? Huh? It's silent. There should be some data in here somewhere. That's just the length of the buffer. What is going on? What the... Oh. It thinks that it's always silent. What is this buffer? It's not silent. Oh, you dickhead. You're supposed to... If it's not silent, then actually break. Or return. Just break. Yeah. Sorry if you were yelling at your computer screen watching this. Okay, what do we have now? Count silent frames left. Okay. That's good. Now if I change sample rate, is it wrong? No, it's still fine. Is that because I'm outputting? I'm quite curious about why that's fine. Read audio. Is this also... Shouldn't that be misaligned? So this can't be const. I'm moving it later on. I don't understand why that's not misaligned. Or is it? No, it looks fine. The file being produced by... Oh, because I'm just aligning the buffer. This is a 44100 file, but am I resampling it? Is that what's going on? I'm not going to think about it. I'm just going to ignore it. There might be a bug there that reveals itself at a later date. So hold on, let me sort out this script now. Remove this function because we fixed it. Cool. Don't know what that's going to sound like. Let's see. Oh. Okay, we got a load of CDP errors. Was it from this one, maybe? There's always going to be the potential for CDP problems that I can't do anything about. Is it just too long a buffer, maybe? Oh, that's fine. It didn't like this sample here. Interesting. If it's completely silent, then it shouldn't attempt to do anything. It should it should exit here. So that's interesting. Did I break my isSilent function somehow? I did technically change this to a less than instead of a less than or equal to. But that's not going to affect that much, is it? Let's increase the threshold a little bit. This should be detecting that it's silent and then not attempting to do anything, but let's see. Is silent. Oh. Yeah. Don't ever change code. You just break it. If you change any code, you will break it. Okay. What does this do? Okay, there we go. Cool. What now?